Day one of practice here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway ahead of the Indianapolis 500. Didn't go off without a few hiccups. The weather pushing drivers back about 2.5 hours before they were ultimately able to get out on the track for day one of practice. And it was a 3-hour practice, so they got plenty of time out there ahead of the Indianapolis 500 here in, about 12 days or so. The excitement, the pressure, the nerves, the butterflies, they're all there, no matter if you've driven this a million times or this is your first time at IMS. We got a chance to hear from a bunch of drivers after a successful day of practice. Quickly, your Fast Six for your first day of practice. That would, of course, be Will Power, number one, 227 miles an hour. Josef Newgarden going for a three-peat. And then after that, Alex Palou looking to continue his crazy start to the IndyCar season. Scott Dixon, then Scott McLaughlin, and Helio Castroneves rounding out your Fast Six. We had a chance to hear from a couple drivers today on how their practice rounds went and how excited they are for the month of May. Hopefully the weather stays away, but feel good to finally focus on the Indy 500.
It's always nice to get to the real deal. You know, we've got an official practice going on today. Hopefully we get out. It's a little bit of sprinkles this morning, but we'll see what the afternoon brings. Hopefully we can get just a little taste. It would be nice to just, at least shake the car down, get a couple runs, a couple laps. That would be satisfactory for today, and then we'll see what the rest of the week looks like weather-wise.
How are you feeling? How's the team feeling? I mean, all the conversation obviously surrounding going for 3 in a row, and I'm sure that gets exhausting, but what's your mindset ahead of this kind of first 2 weeks in earnest, focusing on this?
I feel good. I'm ready to get on track. I don't know what else to say about it other than we're ready. We're going to have a good car, I think. We'll try and prove that out today and through the weekend, and let's get through qualifying. Let's try and get a good spot. If we build a fast car, I think we'll have a shot in this race next weekend.
Yeah, I mean, is it more like resisting talking about it? I know you haven't shied away from it, but I can understand how it would get old. But
yeah,
what's the kind of balance, I guess?
I don't mind talking about it. It's just I've talked about it so much that now I'm like ready to go do it.
Yeah.
It's always kind of the case. There's a lot of build up to the Indy 500. There's just a lot of time that we're here, a lot of test days. It's very procedural, but now I'm ready to go again.
Yeah, what's that motivation level like to do that? Because it would be historic.
Yeah, motivation is high. I want to win the race just like always, so no difference.
All right, just what's your excitement level? I mean, we're finally back here. I mean,
I'm not very excited. Actually, to be honest, all joke aside, this is great to be back, and I just bumped into the good old boys, me, Dario, Simon, Tony. I mean, look, just to come back, and this place brings the best of everyone, not only myself, but everyone. And for me, just to, honor to defend the colors of MSR and Cliff's machine. So looking forward to for a great opportunity here to go for the number 5.
Yeah, you just said, it doesn't get old. Coming back here and all the people you're able to see, there's not many places like that in sports. That doesn't get lost upon you.
This is people that have not had opportunity to come over here and watch this race. They're missing. It should be on your bucket list for a long time, and I'm super excited. Hopefully the weather holds up and we can have continue our working on the car and go for it.
How are you feeling about yourself and your team headed into this week and the Indianapolis?
We're feeling great. I believe this year we combined a great partnership with Technical Alliance with another team and seem to be working really well through my teammates, Felix and Marcus, Eric Armstrong. And obviously, in the end of the day, we just want to make sure that we all work together and have a great month of May.
Is this much practice weird? I know it's like we ask you guys every year if too much practice is too much or you need it with this place.
No, yeah. Not only because it's a new system with the hybrid. First time everyone is having that, so it's extremely important for us to be on the track.
Yeah, okay. Drive for 5. I mean, how much does that motivate you every single year coming back here?
Well, the result doesn't actually motivate me. What motivates me is to have an opportunity to be competing in the end of the race and going for that. That's what I ask my guys. I said, look, just make sure we be consistent, because if we're in the top 3 in the end of the race, top 4 in the end of the race, I'll take care of it. So that's what motivates me, and that's what I'm looking forward for the end of the race.
Practice is starting. Just what's your excitement level and just being back here? And here we are, focusing on the Indy 500.
Very happy, very excited, very pleased to be back to the IMS. Always does, but particularly after we had a moment at the 2 weeks ago in open test Now, there is a lot of promising. The car shows incredible speed. Fastest known tow means something, but not everything, because it's only test. But at least over the course of the winter, all the efforts, teams' input to the car is showing shining. So there was great motivation. Now, of course, we have to rebuild completely that car, but I'm confident that the team, the replicating the great car again. I think, to be honest, the build quality or platform or forecast is much better than last year. So I'm very, very excited.
That is exciting. All right, so going for number 3. Every year, does that mean more pressure? Does that mean more motivation, more excitement? What's kind of your emotions with going for number 3?
I think you could say mixture. The pressure is always there. There's already living in the maximum, so you don't need to put more pressure than that. But no, I enjoy it at the moment. Obviously the nerve cracking and butterflies, all the things that human nature is don't want to have it, of course. But at the same time, you appreciate it because you're in the zone of one of the greatest spectacle in the highest competition. You should be one of the luckiest guys. So no, I really enjoy the process, and I'm really proud of the team. They're fantastic boys, and it's a great teamwork. And that's hopefully I can give them back in something special.
Do you enjoy the additional practice time, or does it get to be too much, or is it necessary for a place like this?
No, I think the more practice time is definitely welcome. Even people thinking, well, we have a 6 hours slot every day and pounding around all the time, thousand laps. Do you really need more? Yes, do we need more? And it's dictated is what's restriction with obviously number of the tires by the rule. So we have to be carefully allocated. But I think the driver like us or Helio, it's a part-time. Come back here, refreshing program. That's very, very important. So for me, just building up the confidence and the happy to be in my environment towards go to the race, I think is very, very important.
Last thing, does the fanfare associated with this race, being here in Indianapolis, does that ever get old for you, or is it as special each time you come back?
Absolutely. I think if fans is a huge part of this Indy 500 history. More than 100 years we existing and traditions and just amazing sport event. And without fans, obviously, nothing is meaningful. Now, of course, fortunate or unfortunate, obviously 2020 winning for us is a special moment. But that was the middle of the pandemic. There was 0 spectator, very grey grandstand, very lonely. But I know the millions of people watching, cheering through the TV, and that's still existing. So I think that this sport's being supported by fans, and that's IMS, and obviously new ownership. Roger Penske made a great step forward too, and I think the competition level is the highest ever. So I think people definitely watching a new history.
We're here. Weather hopefully stays away, but is the excitement ever?
Yeah. Well, it's good to be here. Obviously, Mother Nature plays a role in every Indy 500 every month of May. Is nothing new, but certainly I'm excited to be here. I'm excited because with our team, I think we've got new life to us after the off season. I feel like we should be much stronger here in the month of May. So let's see what happens. But today, the next couple days are critical for our race car. Obviously, then Thursday, Friday, you kind of turn your attention more towards qualifying. So, we'll see what happens here.
It was a strong week for the team. I mean, coming on, maybe not finishing where you wanted
Very.
to, but team-wise, can you carry that momentum?
Very.
Like you said in the offseason too.
I can. Yeah, I think it's a good way to start the month of May. I know Barber was really the start, but to me, when I consider May, it's always Indy, and so to have a great run at the GP and then move on here, I think those do translate well, and I think the morale within the team, the energy within the team, the positivity of all the guys, that will carry us forward. So I'm excited about it.
How can you utilize Takuma's experience with him and the team this year?
Well, he's been with us a long time now, so I don't think it's anything new for us, frankly. I mean, what we need is, we need to make sure we've got 4 good race cars to go to 2 Sundays from now, and so I think that's the most important thing at this stage.
You talked about meeting Alex on the show on Sunday, but how difficult is that going to be with all those mentions that he has?
I mean, on a road course in particular, it's almost impossible right now. But when it comes to the oval race, I think it's a whole different ball of wax. And I hope and I believe that I think that we can do it. I mean, I think there's a lot of guys here at Indy that are going to have pace. The Ganassi cars are clearly going to be strong. At the test, Dixon looked the best of anybody I was ever around, so it's not like the challenge is going to get any easier. But I feel like the oval's a little more of a level playing field than what we've been experiencing on the road courses.
What gives you confidence in your car specifically?
I mean, we've always had good race cars here. We needed qualifying pace, and I think we saw at the open test that the cars had a little bit of speed. So we'll find out shortly. I don't want to get cart before the horse here, but I feel like we're going to be in a better place.
Does that open test help you guys if you don't get as much track time this week as you are hoping to?
We'll get track time. We'll get plenty. I mean, look, there's not that many tires to use anymore. It's not like it used to be where you sat out 3/4 of the time. There's not as much. There's more tires than there is time, nowadays. So you can get out. When I first started here, you got 30 sets of tires and you had 3 weeks of running. You couldn't run all the time. You had to save 12 sets for the race or whatever it was, and it dwindles down. Now you don't qualify as much unless you're like me in the last row shootout every year. You may only use a set or 2 for qualifying, whereas it used to be you'd use 6. When they didn't even there wasn't the 3 and you're out. You could just keep going and going. So it's a different world now than what we had.
I was just gonna say, do you like the additional practice time, or is it too much, or is it necessary?
I think it's fine. I think the practice time nowadays is enough. Weather's always going to play a role, but you can respond to that if needed. If they needed to add practice time Monday or even Tuesday of next week, they could easily do it. But I don't think weather will play a big enough role to prohibit any of that.
I think it's just up and down, different every time. I feel definitely more relaxed this year, right now.
How do you feel about your car and Team Penske at large going into these next 2 weeks? You feel good about where you guys are at?
I personally feel like on the race front, I need to improve, and I found that in those 2 days. So I feel like in race trim, I'll be better. And qualifying, I think the competition will be closer, but we've also improved speed-wise on that. So that will be interesting.
Yeah, you said after the Grand Prix that you feel like you've extracted all you can out of the car each race this season so far.
Yeah.
How does that feel going into this next race? Does that carry some momentum with you? Like, okay, we're doing what we're supposed to be doing here.
Definitely 4 solid races. I think that I have an extremely good group on my car. I'm very happy with the pit stops, just everyone is a very, very strong group. So they're putting me in a position to win week in, week out. I'm just doing my absolute best to deliver that result.
Does being here remain as special each year? I know it's like a dumb question.
Yeah.
Do you feel that those butterflies? I guess maybe not nerves, but
I think you understand. The older you get, you understand the history of it and how big of a deal it is. So you certainly appreciate all the everything that goes with this race. The parade, the fans, the enormity of the event. So it is special. It is special. It's very difficult to win, and it's an incredibly special day if you get to do that.
Do you enjoy how much practice time you get? Is it teetering on too much, or is it necessary when you're talking about a place like this?
Yeah, it is just so much more practice than any other race. You can certainly go in circles, so I think you got to pick and choose carefully, what you want to do, and not sort of burn yourself out. But I think it's just the way Indianapolis is. I think it's cool that the fans get to come out each day and see cars on track. It's part of the tradition.
Just first day, weather aside, sole focus on Indy 500. Like, how does that feel? Does it get old? Is it always exciting here?
Yeah, whenever you get sort of done with the GP and you know that next couple of days you're going to be back on the speedway is so special. And this place in May is amazing. I've never been to a city like it where it really, that they get behind their sport. Whether it's the Pacers, whether it's the Colts, or the Indy 500. it's a really special place to be around when you're a part of the show. And yeah, I'm excited for the month. It's going to be a lot of fun.
How are you feeling about yourself, your car, and Team Penske at large?
Yeah, I feel really good. I mean, it's the same car I had last year, so we know it's a fast car. It's just a matter of putting it together. And the experience I learned last year, I was in spots where I'd never been before, but like I learned, and I feel like I'm really receptive to learning new things, and I feel really excited. There's no reason why we can't win this race. I've got all the tools that we can do it, but it's just a matter of execution. And but yeah, I'm really ready for this month.
Does the momentum or confidence come through the team at all, knowing that Josef won the last two?
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, just knowing that you have fast cars, it's a good feeling. You don't have to second guess certain changes or whatnot. Josef won those races because we had fast car, but he also put himself in positions that he needed to win those races. And that's what I've had to learn over the last couple of years and figure out what he did right, what I did wrong. And there's no doubt in my mind that I thought we had a car that could win the race as well, which is a good feeling for us. It's just a matter of putting yourself in that position. So the team works together on that, and to have a guy that's won it twice and understand that, and you can see that footage, it's really cool.
Do you enjoy the additional practice time, or does it get too much, or is it necessary for a track and a place like this?
I think it's a bit of both. I mean, it's probably not necessary, but it's also great. I love being out there. I mean, it's a tradition, and I think it's really important we have it. I mean, I love driving the speedway. I could go back to the old days where it was like 2 weeks of practice, and qualify 2 weeks in a row. I would love that, but at the end of the day, there's parameters that we need to put in place now. But I love the speedway. I love being out there, and if I could drive here every day, I would.
Will Memorial Day weekend be any different this year with being a dual citizen now?
Yeah, for sure. I think the national anthem definitely hits different now because you put your hand on your heart, So it's a pretty special thing, and America's my home, and I'm very proud to be an American citizen along with the Kiwi citizen as well. And it's a very important step in my life. But yeah, I can't wait to be there with my girls, and yes, celebrating a pretty special day in American history, and how we celebrate our troops, and hopefully we are at the front again and we get a good view of all the proceedings.
Finally here, how are we feeling ahead of practice? Now it's sole focus on Indy 500.
I feel good. It's kind of like typical start here, a little cloudy and rainy, and slow start to it. It's a marathon month coming up, or weeks, and I feel like you just kind of you settle into it. Today's still early days. You kind of try to knock out all the boring stuff out of the way, all the nerdy engineering stuff that needs to be done to check that the car is fine and all that. And I think in the afternoon we'll probably start seeing some race running or pack running. Well, if it starts raining, qualifying will come up pretty quick. But we had a pretty good open test here with good weather, so I feel like everyone's a bit more prepared than normally.
Do you enjoy that additional practice time when it comes to a race like this, or at some point does it get too much?
It depends, to be honest. I feel like we're in a pretty good shape this year, so I don't really mind if we lose a day or two, because as you said, it's still a lot of practice. And the thing with Indy is it's such an important race. Everyone's always going to take everything they can. But we could all technically race today. It's not like we're not ready for it. The cars can do it, and the drivers can do it, and pit crews can do it. So it's just a very special event. It's been the tradition to drag it out for a month, and now it's 2 weeks, which is still a lot, but it's end of the day, it's a race like all the others, even if it's a very, very special one, this one.
Does it get old coming here and going through all the fanfare about it? Just the history and everything, is it lost upon you how cool that is, I guess?
No, I think it's what makes it special in the end, I think especially the tradition here in Indiana, how big of a deal it is for everyone. People have their flags out at their houses, and it just seems to be that transition when you go into summer as well. And there's a lot of good energy in the air, I think that's what this race is all about. We'll be out here, and we'll be out here running, and it's part of the show for the people as well. A lot of people come out here on practice week and qualifying, so it's not only about the race. In the end, it's a marathon event.
Last thing, just how are you feeling about yourself and your team as well heading into these 2 weeks?
We feel good. We think we As I said, we got more than we thought out of the open test. We think the cars are quick. It's still a bit early to judge, to be honest. I think we'll know on maybe Friday or Thursday who's really, kind of technically ahead of the others. But we were always pretty good here at Indy, Meyer-Shank Racing, and I feel better than ever. You learn things every year. It's my 7th year, so feel more confident than ever going in, and just ready to get going.
The excitement is building as we inch closer and closer to the 109th running of the Indianapolis 500. It never gets old coming out to Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Keep it locked on air on Channel 13, of course, right here on WTHR Plus for all your coverage of the IndyCar series and, of course, the Indianapolis 500. And we might even have a familiar face for you as our driving analyst here on 13. Tony Kanaan, he'll be back, and you'll see him diagnosing what's going on track. For now, though, here at IMS, I'm Dominic Miranda, 13 Sports.